Hey, what is up everybody? Welcome back to episode 24 of Cryptozoology's Survival Let's Play. We have so many exciting things to do in this episode and I can't wait to get to it, so let's not get too distracted with this flower here and head on over to our castle because the time has come where we finally need to name the thing. I asked you guys for name suggestions in the last episode and you guys gave me so many great ideas and it's time to tell you guys the one that I picked. After going through all of you guys' incredible name ideas, the one that I went for is Shatter Mist. And this comes to us from none other than Aspects. He actually helped us name our village of Pharaohs. He's really great with these name suggestions and ideas for different things like that. But now that the castle has a name, I say we get into some building. Starting off with the building, I decided that we needed to finish up our courtyard area, so I did some planning with some concrete powders, and this is really helpful for kind of getting a bit of the layout in and seeing where your builds are going to fit and how it's all going to work out. So one of the things that I really wanted to add was a bunch of market stalls. So putting in the first one here, I decided to add a little bit of a flower shop, and I think it's super cute. And then this next one is actually a bit of like a bookstore or something kind of along those lines where they're maybe selling paper or things like that. So along with the market stalls, I also wanted to add a bunch of vegetation and trees and flowers just to add a lot of color and atmosphere and life to the place. And I really love these custom birch trees that kind of overhang the courtyard a little bit and they really add a lot of atmosphere. But with that guys, let's take a look from the ground. I absolutely love how this courtyard place came out. It just really added a lot of life to the castle, I think. So I want to show you some of the details that I actually added. So you can see this is a bit of a well where they could be getting some water to drink. That's super useful and kind of essential for a castle or any medieval build, I think. And then I added a bit of a flower shop, and I think this is just super kind of cute and quaint, I guess. And then I also added a bit of a book stand, and then this is meant to be like a clothing shop so they can be buying some, blue socks, because who wouldn't want that? Then I also added a bit of a food stand, where they could be eating some fish and some carrots and potatoes and buying all of that kind of stuff. And then also back in this area, I just added a bit more flowers to add some color and a bit of more storage in this area. But guys, with that, I think it's actually time to do some river terraforming. One of the problems that we've had with the castle area for a long time now is that the river surrounding it has only been 1 block deep. And obviously that doesn't look very good and it's also not very realistic. So I decided the time has finally come to, dig it out, get this thing way deeper and add a bunch of details. So I added a bunch of different stones under the water and then I added a lot of the seagrass. And as you're going to see in a second, I also added some of the corals and things like that. Terraforming the river has been something I've been wanting to do for quite some time now, so I'm really happy with it done and I think it actually came out super duper sweet. I think I eventually want to be adding some more rocks into it and stuff like that, but for now I think I'll call it complete. We can always come back to it, and that's one of the great things about this game is that nothing's ever really complete or set in stone. You can always go back and change things, but the river looks so much better in my opinion now guys. Definitely let me know what you guys think, but I think the time has come where we need to go take a look from the ground. So the river is looking super duper awesome now. I'm really happy with how this has come out. It's actually kind of my first time ever doing actual river terraforming, so for my first time I'd say it's not too bad. But I actually want to hop into Photoshop right now and take a look at kind of my future plans for this world and how we're actually going to connect our village and our castle with a road. So let's go take a look at that. So I'm just in Photoshop now, and this is just a screenshot of my map room for my world. You can see on the right is our castle Shatter Mist, and on our left is the village of Pharaohs. So what I want to be doing is actually connecting them with a road. So I kind of drew that in here how it's going to be. And you can see there's also this river that's kind of broken up and didn't quite generate right. So I actually finished that up in between episodes and I fixed it up so it actually connects now. So it's looking a little bit something like this now. And I also want to be fixing up this one on the bottom, and I also did this one on the top here. But with that, I kind of want to show you that I also want to be adding some farmland, and that's actually why this road breaks off into this direction. So where this yellow is, I want to be adding a bunch of wheat fields and carrot fields and things like that, and a big windmill and just a lot of cool stuff that's going to add a lot of atmosphere to the world. And I also want to be adding one to our village of Pharaohs because they need a way to get food as well. So that's something I want to be adding. And then you can also see that I have plans for a huge city that's going to be right here. And I don't know if it's actually going to be quite that big, but I also want to be adding some docks that go off into the ocean, and we can be building some big boats, and that's just kind of my future plans for now. We also have this huge forest where I want to be adding like some hobbit holes or maybe a fantasy style kind of build, but that's definitely for the future and down the road a little bit. The next thing I'll probably do is work on some of these farm fields, or maybe start with the city and the dock. But what I want to be doing now is actually building up this road. So I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to do that in a time lapse, because it's obviously quite a long road and it took me a few hours to complete. So I'm going to be doing a bit of a time lapse, speeding it up using the replay mod. So let's go take a look at that right now. So the first thing I did was actually plan out where the road would be, just using some stone blocks. So I kind of knew where the path was actually going to go. And then I first off just started by just using path blocks, and you can also see that there's a bit of a bridge that we're going to need to eventually build to cross the river. And this road is just connecting over to our village of Pharos. It goes all the way through this forest. This took me quite some time to get this in, but I think it's super cool actually having the two places connected. I think it really adds a lot of kind of continuity to our world, and it's super fun. So let's go take a look at it from the ground now. So as you can see, if we exit our castle now, the pathway continues and it goes all the way this way for quite some time. And I also went back and I added a bunch of coarse dirt mixed in with it, so it adds a bit of more detail. But you can see it wraps all the way around this way, comes by the river, goes through this huge birch forest, which I kind of want to be making maybe a custom forest eventually. That's a huge project though. But as you can see, then it connects all the way to our village of Pharos. And I want to be actually taking a look at our map room now, so we can just fly on over to here, make a smooth landing and head on in. And you can see this is our map room, this is our castle over here, and this is the village of Pharos that we're in now. So the road goes all the way through here now and connects over to the castle, but the maps haven't been updated yet, so that's why it doesn't show. And what I actually want to do right now is kind of a neat little trick. In our village we have a bunch of these banners, and there's actually a neat kind of trick you can do. If you take this banner and you name it, you can actually have the location show up on the map. So if we take this banner and put it into an anvil, we can actually rename it and call it Pharos, just like this. And if we take that back and we can put it onto the wall again, and if we take the map of this place and we right click the banner with it, the location and the name will actually show up on the map. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about in just a second. So let's put that there and grab our map. So this is our village. Let's just take this map and head on over to that banner again. So this is what it's looking like right now. And then if we right click this, you can see that just like that, the name actually shows up on the map. And I think that's super cool, because then we can kind of have the names of the places on the maps in our map room. So let's go throw this back down into our map room again. And just like that, you can see that our village now has a name on it. And I think that's super duper cool. And I'm also going to do the same thing with the castle. But what I want to do right now actually is update all of our maps so that the road shows up. As you can see, it's kind of showing up right there. So that's super duper cool. So I'm going to completely update all these maps, put the name on the castle, and then I'll show you guys how it's looking. Alright everybody, so I fully updated our maps. So let's go take a look in our map room now. You can see the road shows now, which is super awesome. It really connects up the world. You can see we still have a bit of a bridge to build there, but we'll get to that in the future. And then also the rivers are fully updated now, so there's none of that weird generation anymore where the river just kind of cut off and then restarted again. So I really like how that's looking. And then I also added the name to our castle, so Shatter Mist is there. And I also updated the maps, so you can see that the little bit of the courtyard that we built up is now showing on the map as well. So it's looking super duper awesome now. I'm really happy with how that is. But guys, that's actually going to have to do it for this episode. I really hope you enjoyed. I had so much fun making this one, and I'm really looking forward to the next episode, because I'm going to be doing a world tour with some of my friends since it's episode 25. So stay on the lookout for that. But without further ado, guys, I'm going to leave you with a bit of a cinematic of everything that we did in this episode. And thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like if you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.